Hi, Jamie. How are you today?
Good. Hi, Lisa. It's so good to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you for talking with me a little bit about your virtual tour and how you're using it. And I'm just going to share my screen and kind of pull up the tour so everybody can see it. All right, there we go. This is your website on your admissions page. And I see you have a video tour and then this button here to view the 360 campus tour.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull that up. So why'd you decide to create a 360 tour?
Well, I mean, I have to go back to sort of the very beginning of when we were in lockdown and when someone from our development office said, "Oh, hey, there's this place that does virtual tours." And at that point, a virtual tour was just like one little like PowerPoint bullet on a board presentation I had given last April saying like we might have to consider doing virtual tours. And I didn't think that it was anything that I would ever have the ability to tackle. So when the person in the development office brought me your name and we connected and I saw what you could do for schools in a really short amount of time, I just jumped on it and said, we can't think too much about this. This is something we probably should have had before the pandemic. We know for sure we need it during the
Mhm.
pandemic, and it was just kind of like such a no-brainer to start working with you.
Great. Well, your campus is beautiful, as you can see here, as everyone can see here. And I actually did the photos, so I got to visit in person. Can you just talk a little bit about what it was like to get the photos and to kind of prepare the campus?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I did is I kind of coordinated with my admission team and our communication office and our admin team about the spaces that we thought would be most important to feature. And that actually took a little bit of time, a little bit of think time, and a little bit of kind of back and forth internally. And then once we did that, we were able to start sort of writing little descriptions for each of those different spots on campus, and then we started gathering still photos. Thank goodness we had had a lot of archived still photos of the campus as well, because in addition to these 360s that Lisa came and shot on the campus last summer, at the very beginning of the summer, we also had a lot of these still shots that we were able to infuse in so that when people finish doing the spin of the space, they can also go in and click on all of the different ways that the space is used. So it sort of gives you a lot more bang for your buck, if you will, if you've got some other photos of the way that those spaces are used. Or, for example, like we featured one art room, but we also have maker spaces and we also have other art classrooms, and that is our 3D printer that we wanted to make sure that people saw. If they weren't going to be on campus, we wanted to give people a sense of like the expansiveness of the art program. So we were able to also infuse these still photos into the whole process. And that really was not a lot of extra money or time on Lisa's side. It just took us a little while to kind of collect everything.
Yeah, and I think it adds a lot of life to the shot since we had to shoot the campus empty because of social distancing and the fact that it was the summer. These hot spots, as we call them, really add an extra dimension, I think, to the spaces.
Yeah.
And the way that we set yours up, you guys decided to have one slideshow for every panorama. So that's another kind of decision that you made that I think really worked out well for your tour.
Yeah, and I'll just warn admission people, that was the thing that was a little bit time consuming for on our end, was just collecting all those photos, putting them in the folder of the space that we wanted the slideshow to go in, labeling what would, like how you see
Yeah,
that it says Paris
title.
and San Francisco on the PA stage, like just labeling them, and all of the thought that went into that. That was time consuming, but so worth it. So worth it.
Great. And can you talk a little bit about how you're using the tour?
Yeah, so there are a couple of different ways that we use it. So one is it's on the admission page of the website, as you saw. So anyone who's coming to the website can do this full tour. Another thing that we did was in the actual navigation of the tour, we added that campus tour video. so that, see how there's like a little button with a like a video
Yep.
icon there, the little arrow icon, but people can watch the tour that way. And that is a video tour of the campus that does have live shots of kids that our head of school speaks at the beginning, and welcomes people to the campus. And it really, and there's narration that goes through that video. It's nearly 30 minutes of us like really talking in depth about the programs, and that's embedded right here in the virtual tour. So people can, it's like a one-stop shop in terms of like people can, that's a requirement before people come to one of our virtual events this year. They actually had to watch that video.
Okay,
And
great.
in so watching it, they also got access to looking at this 360 video. So that was one way that we use it. Another really fun way that we were able to use the Circlescapes tour this year is, because of the campus that you see and how much outdoor space we have, we had this really amazing ability to be able to host socially distanced, self-guided family tours on Saturdays. So for about 12 Saturdays during the season, we allowed prospective families to sign up in staggered 10-minute increments to come and see the campus. And the way that we use the virtual tour during this is they were able to use a QR code and go to the website and see all of the spaces that we had on the website as they were walking through them, so they could kind of like truly come to life, like not only through the 360 spin, but there were descriptions that they could read about on their phones as they were walking through the campus. I don't think everyone took advantage of that, because, you know, a lot of the draw of being able to do the self-guided tour was actually not looking at a screen and being on the campus, but
Sure.
it was also very helpful for some families who, instead of looking at the little placard that we had like stationed outside the classroom, just looked on their phones. And so that was a pretty unique way of being able to use this tour, because when we were first talking about doing self-guided tours, people were saying like, oh, well, should we have like a little video at each space and whatever. And we were like, we've already spent the time to do this Circlescapes tour, so let's just take advantage of that and use it. And it was the lowest hanging fruit. It was really amazing. It was a really nice compliment.
That's kind of a great way to tie together all of your different assets and allow people to take the tour in really multiple different ways.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was one of the things, real highlights of our year this year, was being able to use this tour in this way and have people actually set foot on campus in a safe way.
Well, great. Well, I know that you have the ability on your end to edit the photo galleries and the text descriptions. Do you think you'll kind of grow the tour or expand the tour in the future?
Well, that's the thing that was so great. When I first met with you, you made it sound like it was a charm bracelet that we could just keep adding to over the years. And I loved that analogy, because there are sometimes spaces that you realize afterwards, like, oh gosh, we got so many questions in the admission season about this space, or we're building a new space, or we're improving a new space. And it's really nice that Lisa and her team make themselves so flexible to be able to just pop back in and do another spin, and there's not like a whole nother tour charge for it. They just sort of charge according to the travel and the time that they spend doing that one new spin. So I love that aspect, that our team can look at this with fresh eyes next year, when hopefully we can have tours on campus, but we will always have this on our website and we can always add to it, which I just love that part of it.
Well, we certainly would love to come back and visit your beautiful campus in the near future. So
Yeah,
definitely looking forward to that. Well, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts about your 360 virtual tour. And I hope you get a lot of great use out of it and have a wonderful enrollment season this year.
Thank you. We did have a successful enrollment season, and I do attribute a lot of the success this year to the self-guided tours and the Circlescapes tour. So thank you very much. Our school is fully enrolled.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jamie. Take care.
Lisa, bye-bye.